Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
This is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in Raw.
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw.
Oh, baby, I like it Raw. Oh, baby, I like it Raw. And you are tuned in to Going In Raw right now. How you doing?
Hey, Brendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw New Japan G1 Special in the USA. And we're joined today by James. James, you're the number one requested other YouTube personality on our show.
Really? That much?
Yeah, we actually get that a lot. It's like usually when you wear the Going In Raw shirt, people they'll blow up our stuff. But
I have the two different ones. I have the belt one and I have the one that you guys sent me.
Even before. So I'm usually not terribly good at I there's so many YouTubers I don't know who they are, and a while ago, before I even knew who you were, I kind of knew about the creatures, I kind of knew about all that stuff, but I didn't know the specific personalities. Somebody was like, "Hey, you should bring James from the Creatures on," and I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "He has millions of subs," and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know.
I also I barely talk about wrestling too much.
Okay, yeah.
In general, I don't really hit on it too much. I know a lot of people have wanted kind of me to have an avenue, I guess, to talk about it a little bit. So that was kind of one of my goals too with moving to LA. Was obviously knowing you guys were here, and then you guys were coming to this show. So it was
it's perfect. We're always me personally, I know Larson's kind of the same way. We don't like to impose on people, and so we're the last people to say, "Hey, come on our show," which we totally should do because it's YouTube and you need to collaborate with people.
Collaborations are key.
Yeah, exactly. But we're glad you're here. This is for the New Japan I like how they title it too, New Japan G1 Special in the USA.
Yeah.
I don't even consider the ending to be in the USA. I just said G1 Special. I think that was their hashtag, or no, they had US at the end of the hashtag.
Yeah,
too,
it was
right?
G1 US.
G1 US.
Something like that.
But this was an absolute blast. So a little bit of background on how much you know about New Japan for our viewers out there who for whatever reason might not know who you are. You've me and Larson are still learning about New Japan.
We've only really been watching this year.
Yeah. I'm even trying to remember. So Kenny Omega was kind of on my periphery as well before then.
Yeah.
And okay, so no, I do know. I think my introduction to New Japan was actually watching, because everybody had raved when Shinsuke was coming over to NXT back 2 years ago. I think I watched some of his matches in New Japan, and I watched him versus AJ Styles at last year, not this year's, but last year's Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, 2016.
You watched that live?
No. I watched it. I went back and
you caught up
on Daily Motion or whatever. And that match is literally one of my favorites at this point. But that's when I was oh whoa, they do different stuff in New Japan.
Yeah.
And so once Wrestle Kingdom came around, I watched that live. It started at 1:00 in the morning or whatever, and it was fun because I think Wrestle Kingdom had a lot of buzz going into it because of Kenny Omega, and I didn't know anything about Okada. I had heard AJ Styles talk about a lot of the New Japan wrestlers on the Stone Cold podcast, but I didn't really know who any of them.
Yeah. Did you guys stay up for the whole thing?
He did. I did.
I did.
It ended at 5 a.m.
I know.
6 a.m.
And the cool thing about it though is that it was. And it's so rare these days that I think you get this with something that's got that much buzz behind it. Because Mania is one thing, the Royal Rumble is one thing, but when you're up at 2:00 in the morning and you're live tweeting, and you have 30 other people watching it with you, and they're live tweeting back at you. That's kind of, and it's something, and it's not like WWE, it's something new and different.
Yeah.
And it's oh my God, who's this guy? And then some people are schooling me saying, oh no, so this guy has been around, blah, blah, blah. And so, when you're asking questions, there was something very special about that first Wrestle Kingdom for me, because it was in the middle of the night, everybody was sleeping, and I was just there with other people who happened to be watching at the same time. It was one of the decent things about Twitter.
That's the same thing with the Dominion as well, because that ended the same deal. It was 5, 6 a.m. or something, but that was one of those cases where it's I'm so delirious by the end of the match.
Oh,
and I'm so tired, but it's just Okada Omega again. They're going the whole mile, and it's just it won't end, but like you're just sitting there. It's just like, when will it end? They're going the hour. They're going the hour. And it's just like, it's 5 a.m. I need to go to sleep.
Well, here's the funny thing too about Wrestle Kingdom was I hadn't planned on staying up all night. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start this, and if I fall asleep, I fall asleep. I'm not like holding myself to it. But every match kept me going. Mm-hmm. Like when you start out with, and it was brilliant. They started out with the Japan Rumble, which was like kind of all their, I don't want to say scrubs, but
it was like part old
you had Billy Gunn in there.
Yeah.
You had a ton of like old timers who I vaguely remember their names from like WCW.
Yeah.
You had Michael Elgin was in there. I think he won it this year.
Yeah, he did.
Cheeseburger, and it's like you can't go wrong with the Rumble when they bring when somebody comes out every minute. Mm. You're always staying, you're with
it. It also kind of helps, too. I feel like that kind of helped me, was like seeing some of those recognizable faces in there. It's like they just toss them in there, but it still helps me. It's like even a WCW guy or something like that, it's like, okay, I can see these guys, and then I see like some new faces here and there, and it's like not too much to take in, where it's like, I got to remember all these people. Because that's the main thing with New Japan. It's like, I got to know all their names. And it's like, I still have trouble. I was talking to like a fan where it's like, Takahashi, Tanahashi. Come on.
But then there's another
Ishii.
But then there's another Takahashi.
There's two Takahashis.
Yeah.
Two Takahashis.
I can't take that.
No, I know.
I can't take that.
It's in the very first video we did, I think in the Wrestle Kingdom recap, because we did a recap on it, or maybe it was before that. I called Tanahashi Tanahishi. And I got so much shit.
That was a while ago. It was like some
countdown.
Is that the other one? Oh, that was a countdown we did. That's right. And I was like, oh shit. Like they put in the comment, they're like, it's Tanahashi, learn fucking names. And I'm like, I'm trying.
I know.
It's not easy.
It's not. But everybody else that you talk to, like I was talking to these fans, like they know it. Like they were saying like they've been into it since back when AJ was still there, and like they knew all of that stuff. And it's like, well, I can only catch up. I can catch the big events. I can try to get filled in storyline wise through like Reddit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's I can get like filled in. But it's gonna take me a while to get that full scope, because it's not just handed to you. You really gotta I was like, why is Naito destroying the belt? Like, what's his deal? I was like, I like it, but why is he doing it?
But why? And that was like the big exciting thing for me and Larson when we were starting out. This is that like being WWE fans for like so long, and it's like, granted, we don't know everything, but we know a lot, and we're at the point where there's really nothing new you can throw at us. With New Japan, it was like
it's literally a whole new promotion with 40 plus years of history that we had to learn, like, or wanted to learn like that.
Exactly. So it's like all this stuff we could jump into, and it's like, and one of the problems though is like New Japan's streaming service, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be fixing this soon, but like the New Japan World website is not an easy navigation. Mm-hmm. Like their search engine is terrible for people like us who are like trying to get into it. So like,
do you see what they do though when AJ or Nakamura will have like a big match with WWE? They'll put up like the playlist. Where all of the AJ matches, all of the Nakamura matches, or whatever. They at least try to like make that a little bit easier. Where it's like, oh, here's all the Gallows and Anderson matches that you may have missed. Yeah. That kind of helps, I guess, get you up to a certain point. But you still miss a lot.
It's just searching for stuff, especially, is hard to navigate things at times.
Yeah, if they went it's funny because we're kind of, I don't know, I guess spoiled by the WWE Network because they have all those great collections. Like if you like The Rock, they have literally every skit, every sketch, every match that led to him becoming kind of who he was in one playlist. Easily found. Mm-hmm. And if New Japan like started working, and I'm sure they will, like it's still really early, but if they had something like that for like their major players on down, I think that'd like help.
They also have it on YouTube too. Like WWE like puts a lot of that stuff on YouTube too, like free clips and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that really helps.
Yeah. So let's get into night one. I thought that night one of the G1 special, I don't know. So we're gonna head there like when we're done with this. I don't know how night two is gonna be able to top.
Well, there's one way it could top it.
How?
If they have Okada Omega 3 for the title happen tonight. That's the only way they can top it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Like, it's gonna
a lot of people did expect that.
I know. When Kenny came in the ring, I was like, oh, is he going to say, screw this US title? I want that.
Because I think this is... The one thing I got from last night was that this was definitely dipping their toe into the water. And so I think that the only title change that we were going to see was going to be the tag titles.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt, too. I felt like with talking to some of the people there, like their mindset on some of these guys, it's like Cody, right? Like coming out of Dominion, everybody shit on Cody. Like, it was like, why does Cody get a shot? But everybody that I was talking to there last night was like, no, it'd be okay if Cody won the belt. And I was like, for me, like, I'm not exactly sold on Cody just yet in this, like, sense. I feel like Cody, for some reason, I feel like he works better with, like, a character. Like, I liked him as, like, dashing, obviously, disfigured and all that. Yeah. But, like, just himself as just Cody, I don't feel like we've seen enough of it yet to, like, be like, just go in, just get shoehorned in just so that way we can make this Omega Cody, like, face-off happen. Just because we didn't get it with Adam Cole. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, I just feel like it's too soon. But, like, the mindset of everybody there was, like, they thought Cody would get cheered. But I was, like, just sitting there, like, I don't know. I feel like everybody here in LA is going to be, like, pro the Japanese wrestlers that they specifically paid to see. It's like Tanahashi and Okada and Naito and all those guys. It's like, we paid to come see them because we don't get to see them all the time. Yeah. But they thought, like, Cody would get, you know, cheered, but
it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen.
It's interesting. I wonder if that was something predetermined by Cody, like if he realized that going in, because
like an on the fly thing. It's just like
I don't know, because he came out with those guys with the American like president masks. And he was acting very sort of heelish off the bat. I don't know if because people are. I'm kind of in the same boat as you with Cody. I know you are too. Yeah. I'm not sure. He can bring... So Okada, we know, literally, seemingly, can carry that chair over there to a 6-star match.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Like, that dude is fucking off the hook. Kenny, we know, can do that. Naito, we know, can do that.
Tanahashi can do it.
Tanahashi can do that. I feel like Kushida can do that. Yeah. Takahashi probably can do that. Cody, I don't think I don't think he's there. I think we saw a really, really amazing match like last night with him and Okada.
Well, the drama,
but really, because of Okada.
Well, the drama was introduced once Kenny came out.
Yes.
Before that, there really was no drama to the match.
Exactly.
And it was that storyline between Kenny and Cody that provided the drama to the match.
Exactly.
As opposed to anything really happening in the ring prior to.
Yeah.
But once the Bullet Club became an element of the match, then the drama really picked up. Yeah. You want to know, okay, how is Kenny and Cody gonna react to each other? How is Cody gonna respond to whatever Kenny says in his match against Okada?
And which I thought was all masterful.
Yeah, it was done.
I thought that shit was great. Yeah. Let's start at the beginning though. We started out with Bullet Club. I was very disappointed. James, I don't know how often you listen to the podcast, but Bullet Club theme is like one of my favorite themes, and we didn't get Club. We didn't get the theme song. I feel awkward because there's like like we love you and everything, but like
you guys can do your.
We haven't done this. I know.
Yeah, you can do your
stick
sticks
in front of somebody.
Fine. Wait, would it be better if we did this?
I'm
and
like,
then
look at that,
see,
and then you try to do that.
See, okay.
So
I'm in the know.
He totally too sweet at AJ Styles though. And you won't do it to James.
There's no proof of it.
I met Kenny Omega earlier. I was telling you guys, would you have too sweet at him?
No comment.
He would, as long as there was no camera running, he would.
I think we're sitting against the rail tonight, against the ramp.
Ooh.
We'll find out.
What if you get caught on like the hard camera doing it to somebody, and somebody like catches it?
Remind me, James. Remind me to tell you the story, and it's the sweetest story of Larson and the Too Sweet you'll ever hear. I'm not going to do it on camera to protect to protect his character.
Kayfabe.
To protect his character. Anyways, but Bullet Club came out, and I think it was, like you said, I think
it was Bad Luck Fale's theme.
It was Bad Luck Fale's theme.
Because it was his video.
Why don't they come out to Bullet Club theme? It's like the best theme in wrestling right now.
I didn't even hear it. I was in merch. I was at the merch line.
You actually waited in line.
I tried to because a fan let me cut.
Yeah.
So I got like maybe to the halfway point, and then it started. So, like, after their entrances, I went back over. I was like, screw this. I'm not going to wait for, like... half the stuff that I wanted, I told them that I wanted the G1 special shirt and stuff.
I want that,
And, like, they were like, nope, sold out. And I was I'm not even going to wait. Yeah. I'm just going to go back to my seat.
I wonder if in a couple weeks they'll pop up on Pro Wrestling Tees.
I hope so. All right, so Bullet Club took on... They took on Chaos, but like I guess the Briscoes are
they're kind of honorary members.
They're kind of like
I think it was one of the shows. Rocky Romero was doing commentary and said, we've gone out drinking with the Briscoes, so that
makes them Chaos.
They're Chaos for life.
How do you feel, James? How do you feel about everybody in New Japan?
God, so I actually I pulled a U and I wrote some notes down.
Nice.
And I think
usually he's the guru of notes.
I came prepared. I put for this match specifically. I put the Briscoes look fucking jacked. baby. That's what I put.
Dude, okay,
they are huge,
they're
like
legit.
in person.
So how you're aware of New Japan? You know New Japan kind of the Ring of Honor, the Briscoes.
I'm not too filled in on too much Ring of Honor stuff. Like I'll catch a show here or there. Like it probably less so than like New Japan. But I've never I knew of the Briscoes, but I never watched them at all.
They're the one group that Jay Briscoe is the most legit looking like a wrestler. I've his face. Why this guy isn't like in Hollywood? He's got such an amazing, unique, legit. Like the fact that they're chicken farmers. Like they look like they're legit. They have a chicken farm. Yeah. They've cut promos from their chicken farm.
Wow.
Before. They are so fucking legit. I feel like they're one of the very few acts that I would never want to see go to the WWE because they come off as so legit. And the WWE, I couldn't see them in a backstage segment, in a locker room segment with Sami Zayn doing his comedy routine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No.
I would never want to see that.
Yeah.
So I love the Briscoes. They're fantastic. And yeah, they are. They're jacked. So they're out there with Roppongi Vice, which is Trent and
Rocky
Romero, who I love them.
And Will Ospreay,
who I like that he just sort of comes out with them, but everybody knows Will Ospreay is like the best wrestler.
Have you guys watched any of the? You haven't watched the program back at all, have you? No, not at all. So from what I was hearing, and this is weird because I felt like through the entire night the crowd was awesome. I felt like the crowd was really loud, even for the first match. But for some reason that did not translate even on the first match or anywhere maybe towards the last couple of matches. It seemed like the crowd was dead, but it really wasn't.
No.
They were cheering.
They were really anxious to see this.
Everything.
And they picked a good match to kick things off. You have the Young Bucks in there.
For sure.
Yeah, Super Pro Bullet Club. Everybody was chanting. The Bucks. They were doing the elite. It's I don't know how that didn't translate through to TV. And then supposedly as well, I guess JR was flubbing up a lot of lines and calling Will Ospreay, Zack Sabre Jr. or the vice versa. I think I don't know. He was mixing them two up throughout the night. So I guess it didn't translate too well through the broadcast. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, because it was a really hot crowd.
Yeah,
I have to watch that. So yeah, Bullet Club had Bad Luck Fale, Marty Scurll, the villain. Are you a Scurll fan?
I like his look, but I don't know too much about him.
Yeah, go to PWG and then you'll gain a much greater appreciation for him.
So we saw him in a couple matches before we went to the PWG show that we went to a couple months ago, and I was like, okay, I kind of dig the character thing. I'm not I couldn't really get into it. Once you see him live and he's doing all the stuff that he does, and if it's just him in it's kind of hard in an 8-man clusterfuck.
Yeah.
But if he's you totally get it. You totally get on board with what he is, and I think it's funny because the Bullet Club seemed to be it's kind of a floundering phase for a little while. Once AJ left and they weren't doing a whole lot with them, and then with the arrival of Cody and then especially Marty Scurll, I think that it's looking a lot better for Bullet Club these days.
It wasn't looking too good for him with this match because they lost.
That's right. Rocky Romero got a roll up, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of a surprise roll up there.
I will say
the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Tokyo Pimp though.
Yeah.
I don't even know his name.
That's the other Takahashi. That's a Yujiro Takahashi.
See, man, I'm getting But he has the best facial expression.
Yeah.
Just him sitting on the apron, he was just doing all of this stuff with his face, and he was just kind of it was just every few minutes he would do something different on the apron, and it almost looked at some points it just looked like he didn't even care. And he was just kind of and then some points he'd be super excited, and it's just I was just watching his face for a majority of it.
I'm surprised they didn't bring out his valets.
Oh yeah,
with all the butt cheeks showing.
Yeah,
I would have liked to have heard JR say something about that. Let's see here. Next we had Los Ingobernables de Japón. James, say Los Ingobernables de Japón.
What is it?
It's Naito's group.
Yeah, I know.
LIJ.
I say it in my head, and I say it in my head. I say it in my head right, but then I feel like when I would say it,
the number of times we goofed when we first started doing New Japan.
I think one night I went home and practiced.
Yeah, I know. I did. I was out on a walk with my dog.
Los Ingobernables de Japón. I should know that too because I'm Spanish, but I just can't. I can't.
They took on a bunch of people. Okay, so obviously we all know Jushin Liger. I'm not really too aware of Volador Jr. I'm assuming these are CMLL or okay, CMLL. Okay.
We saw Dragon Lee take on Takahashi at Sakura Genesis, I think.
Okay, all right.
That was a great match.
Dragon Lee's good, and then Titan.
Titan was doing some crazy stuff.
Okay. I see when I see all the crazy luchador stuff, like I love it all. I can never keep track of who's doing what.
Yeah.
What's going on.
Volador Jr. was the guy without a mask.
He's the guy who looked like weird Bret Hart.
With Sabu.
He had a perfect. He said he looks like a mix of Bret Hart and Sabu.
Oh, I would have said Bret Hart and Neville or something.
No, he has Neville body. Yeah, he totally has Neville body. But anyways, I like Takahashi is like quick. He is like my favorite designed character.
Yeah.
Like the Ticking Time Bomb's design, like his character design is amazing.
All his punk band logos.
I wonder if he even listens to Bad Brains.
He was he has a little cat.
And the little cat is great.
He gave it to somebody at ringside, and then he snatched it back from him after the match, and the guy was just like a normal guy with like a headset on, I guess a production guy, and he was just kind of going like this to him and stuff.
That's fantastic.
Liger got huge
he got
reception.
A massive pop.
Yeah, and people kind of know. They know that. I think it's like kind of his farewell tour, right? They said that this was his last Best of the Super Juniors.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be retiring soon. I think. So, but no, he can still go crazy.
Oh yeah,
he can go absolutely crazy. So Takahashi got the pin. There was a lot of great ref bits here. They would cozy up with the ref, keep him distracted while they were using chairs on the luchadors.
And it wasn't even subtle.
Yeah, exactly. It was good. I love that kind of stuff.
Is this I think I wrote a note about this one too. You said it's Naito's group, right? Is this the one with Evil and all them?
Yeah. Evil, Bushi, and Sonata,
That was the one they put him up in this cradle, right? And then he drop kicks him in the ass. They did that to the ref afterwards. I don't know if that was on the program or not, but they put the ref in a giant.
I felt really sad for the ref on that.
I think I put
he needed help out of the ring.
Mm-hmm. I think I put that Evil reminded me of a WCW character. I know that.
Oh, I can totally see that.
Because there were Evil fans.
Normally he walks out with that plastic scythe.
Yeah.
His entrance, he didn't have that.
We always give him so much shit about because so at Tokyo Dome and then wherever Dominion was, the plastic scythe, when they have the lighting a certain way, when the lights are down, he's got his laser fingers. It's kind of cool. Yeah. It's approximating cool.
But then you realize
it's
plastic.
When they go to, what is it, the Kurikan
Hall, yeah.
Kurikan Hall, and it looks like a cafeteria lighting situation, and he just comes out, it's that's the cheesiest. That's the most 99-cent store costume I've ever seen in my life. It's so bad.
That's kind of what I got out of it. But then I realized there was he actually has a lot of fans, and I was just okay, maybe that's not describing him as an old WCW guy, like a glacier or something like that. It's maybe that's not.
No, it's like Wrath. It's But I feel like more money was put into Wrath and Mortis and Wrath's costumes than Evil's. I feel like Evil's he needs to step up that game. And I'm not a huge fan of the singlet either. I'm not big on this. I think the singlet makes somebody look weak. I don't know. I don't like it.
Makes them look weak?
Kind of. There's certain people who can pull, RVD pulls it off. Kurt Angle pulls it off.
What about Rhino?
I've never been huge on Rhino. I always felt he always looked like he was 4 feet tall for me.
He's also got a weird body shape.
That's the thing.
He's very stout.
He's too stout.
Yeah.
And I think the singlet hurts that. And the other thing about Rhino that I always hated, and I like Rhino. I like him fine. It is the Cheese Whiz thing. He's funny. But back when he sort of made his big mark in ECW, I always knew it was because WWF and WCW had poached everybody Paul Heyman wanted to be champion, so he was kind of stuck with Rhino.
Yeah.
He always had that mark with me, that bad mark with me. So that's my Rhino story. Next up,
Takahashi got the pin on Titan with Ticking Time Bomb.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that's true. Hangman Page from Bullet Club took on Jay Lethal, who had been storyline. Why did you laugh?
I laughed because the note that I wrote for Hangman Page was that he looks dirty.
He has very hairy legs.
That's kind of his gimmick.
He had very hairy legs.
He has he said, man, he's got really hairy legs. I looked and I'm like, oh, that's past hairy. That's way past.
But it's shaved right here, though.
This is past hairy.
It think it was worse than that, though.
But he shaves up here, though. It's cut off right here. It was shaved here, but it was hairy.
Maybe he doesn't shave it just through wrestling. The hair's worn off.
I
don't have hair on my knees.
Dude, no, I don't have. for like, so I had like a business casual job for 6 years out of college, and so I wore socks every day, and I don't now. But there's still the hair hasn't grown back here.
Yeah.
Like from business sock down, it hasn't grown back.
I have hairless knees.
So maybe that's it.
Maybe he's got something like that going on. But I was also saying like that. You had brought it up before. I think you were talking about like people's ring gear and stuff. How you like it looking pristine, right? It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
I feel like
crisp,
looking at his like from like the second row. I was like, man, even his trunks look fucking dirty. Like I don't know. It just
brown cloth.
He just looked dirty.
There's brown cloth on your trunks is a big no-no with me. And he had a lot of brown in his trunks.
Well, he had a Bullet Club logo in brown.
And that's not good. It's like poop. It's like cloth. It's like cloth, not like crisp leather. You know, I want some like vinyl,
metallic fabric.
Exactly. I don't want cloth. Like I feel like he's like a really sweaty day away from that just ripping and like his shit spilling out everywhere. I don't know. It's not good.
I felt bad because people were like. Most of the crowd chants that were stupid. There were a few cringy people and stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, a lot of people shut down the shit chants. Where it was like, these two guys and like, that was all. Like they would just shut down a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But there would be people that would just yell out to Page and just be like, you're the worst Bullet Club member. Like it's just like
we saw the
really
worst Bullet Club member later.
Yeah, he'll come up later in the night. We're going to talk about him. Because Lars and I had a very, very in-depth conversation last night during the show about who is, and we'll ask you, who you feel is A-level Bullet Club, B-level Bullet Club, and then C-level Bullet Club.
You can rank them all.
Well, yeah, because there's groupings. There's definitely grouping. We'll get to that when we get to the tag match here. But so we had Hangman Page versus Jay Lethal.
The first round match of the United States Championship tournament.
We're both big Jay Lethal fans.
Jay Lethal's great.
He's great. Back in TNA... he did an amazing matchup, like a legit amazing.
I remember that.
You remember the matchup? It was fantastic.
There's a cool story in this match where Jay kept on trying to hit the lethal injection.
Yeah, well, Jay,
he
was storyline injured at
is that why the ribs were taped
Ring of
up?
Honor. Yeah, exactly. They made a point of doing that because they've got like a working relationship. So he came out with the rib tape. So part of the story was Jay Lethal trying to hit lethal injection. Hangman Page trying to take advantage of Jay Lethal's injury. Hangman Page he's a lot more athletic than he sort of looks.
I know.
Like when he launches himself, what do you call that? Like
that's like he does a shooting star press.
A shooting star press from the apron.
Yeah, running
onto somebody. I always like that. It always looks like.
I wonder if he'd be more aerodynamic if he shaved his legs.
That could be. You might see like he does like a whole flip.
That was what I was telling you guys that he did that spot where they did the outside dive. And Hangman Page is the guy that he literally went through the barricade. That's where you could see me on the hard camera, I guess, because they literally broke the barricade. Like that barricade was bent because he just committed to just falling backwards into it, and it was bent in to the point where they tried to change the barricade out, but they couldn't, so they just used zip ties. But it was completely broken by the time that match happened. That entire side was just smashed.
That's those guys put their bodies through fucking misery, dude. Jay Lethal he did actually hit the lethal injection though, and he did get the win over Hangman Page. I think, did we all see that coming a mile away?
Oh yes.
Yeah, pretty much. I do think that storyline injury is going to keep Jay Lethal from winning the US title.
He'll probably lose.
Who's he fighting in the
Kenny?
Oh, that's going to be a good match.
Yeah,
that's going to be a really good match. Next up, we had one of my favorites, Zack Sabre Jr. versus one of my least favorite, Juice Robinson.
What was up with this? This was weird. This was one of those cases where everyone thought, at least I think, everyone thought that Juice was going to get cheered here. He was like a favorite to win, from what I was reading. But then he came out and he just got booed to hell. But then, maybe at the halfway point of the match, people were starting to do Juice, 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 and it was like, what do people want from this? Specifically, did they not why do they not like Juice versus? Is it because he's a WWE guy? I
would guess it has more to do with the fact that the LA crowd, because I will guarantee you, everybody who attends a PWG show, because it's probably I think everybody who attends a PWG show, I'll put it this way, I think PWG shows are attended by the same 300 people every time, plus 100 other people who are lucky enough to get a ticket. Yeah. And I think because Zack Sabre Jr. is such a staple of PWG, he's currently, I think, their champion.
It's one of his 3 belts.
Chances are that's why, because I noticed when he came out, a lot of people were cheering for Zack Sabre Jr. Because he's so and he's just an amazing heel.
Yeah,
he's a fantastic heel. And so I think that might be it. I'm nutty. I was booing Juice Robinson. I can't. Yeah, you want to know why? I just can't stand Juice Robinson.
He looked like he didn't expect it. He came out, and like when he went up to the turnbuckle, he was just kind of like,
"Oh yeah,
people in Japan really love him."
That's what I thought. Yeah. I thought that like because they like him there, and he was starting to kind of like earn his stripes, so to speak, over there. Like I figured maybe here people would be like, all right, maybe he's working his ass off to try to get rid of the WWE stuff.
Yeah.
But like they still booed him.
But it was actually because there were dueling chants. There was Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
Juice.
Yeah.
Every time he'd throw a punch, it'd be juice, 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 and it's like they were maybe towards the halfway point of that. Like they were.
Once you get into really good match territory, because this is actually a really good. This is actually a really good match. Once you get into that territory, I think people are like, okay, I'm going to cheer for both these.
But then when they had when Zack Sabre Jr. was like putting him in a knot, it was like, how could you not cheer for that when he had him like. He was like, I don't even know how he did that. He had like both of his arms up. Like it was like one and then the other. And then he was like all wrapped up.
You're exactly right.
Like in a pretzel.
It was like Rings of Saturn plus Octopus Stretch while Juice was trying to grab the rope. They got so much story in that one.
They did. And it was every step of the way was another story beat. It was like, oh no, I'm going to prevent this from happening. Oh, you're going to try to do this. I'm going to do this.
Because he gets one.
Then the fingers back.
Your shit. And then, just to put the stink on it, the fingers go back, which I have no idea how they do that.
I don't know either. Anyway, Zach won.
Yeah, Zach won. He made him tap out. And the crowd went fucking ballistic when he won, too. And I think part of it was just like, thank God we get to see Juice Robinson not tied up in a pretzel now. Although, so Larson, a couple people have told us this on Twitter, that they think that Juice Robinson's gimmick is porn guy.
Porn?
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't know where anybody gets that.
I felt like he was still carrying over a little bit of the little bit of the Parker like kind of like peace, love, and tranquility thing, but he's kind of more like party-ish now, like just a happy-go-lucky guy.
I sort of got like hippie guy kind of. Yeah. I don't know where people get porn from. Either. Maybe they can explain it to us. Next up, we had, obviously the most dominant team in wrestling right now. Bullet Club Hunters plus Tempura Boys.
God.
I had to research like months ago, so I forget the genesis of it. But the Bullet Club Hunters, Billy Gunn and Yoshitatsu, and I forget if there were more people in Bullet Club Hunters.
Was it Bone Soldier in it for a second?
Captain New Japan.
Yeah.
I think Captain New Japan was a Bullet Club Hunter. Bullet Club is still really popular. So
you guys didn't hit up the merch at all? Did you see?
Oh yeah, I saw the table. Yeah.
Oh my god! So a fan had told me that Yoshitatsu had came in earlier that day for a meet and greet, but it wasn't his day, so they told him to get the hell out. And then awesome. Instead of him going to that merch table, he left completely, and he left the lady that was working that table to like sell the shirts, but nobody was going up to that table to buy those.
There was a massive line for everything else, but then Bullet Club Hunter table had its own. They had their own table, and nobody was there.
No one was there.
It was great. I don't even know who the Tempura Boys.
I don't either.
I feel like they're like just very recently.
I love that they did the freaking New Age Outlaws like thing at the top of the ramp with Billy Gunn and Yoshitatsu.
Yeah.
It's just. Everybody was just like, they just want Billy to go away.
I know. Like that was the one really surprising thing when they announced all the matches. One of the first ones they announced was Billy Gunn's fighting Tanahashi for the IC title. And I'm like, dude, literally, any one of these other people here, anybody else,
the entire roster,
Dave fucking Finlay, Jay fucking White. Well, Kushida's already hot shit. Anybody else?
Yeah.
They could have Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
They could have Juice Robinson. That would have been.
Well, they would because they're both into Taguchi Japan.
Oh yeah, well it could have been a respect thing.
Could be.
Yeah.
So I wrote this in my notes, but who the hell is Jay White?
He's a guy that trained, I think, in the New Japan dojo. He's from New Zealand.
Okay.
And he's on excursion in Ring of Honor right now.
I had no idea. Like I knew Dave Finlay, obviously. Yeah. It's like I knew everybody else on that team, but I just didn't. I had no. Who was Jay White?
The only reason
the PWG show he went to.
That's the only reason I know who he is.
And then he wrestled the anniversary show.
Because we watched him at PWG. He fought Leo. No, he didn't fight Leo Rush.
It was
one of them big dudes.
Wasn't I can't remember who he wrestled though.
I don't know, but he was pretty impressive, and so I looked him up a little bit. That's the only reason I know who he is. So yeah, Jay White, he got the pin on Prime Bullet Club.
And everybody just went silent after that happened.
Yeah,
it
know.
It wasn't a very good match. Billy Gunn botched the spot where he's supposed to catch Tanahashi coming off the top rope. He didn't do it.
Yep.
Billy Gunn is huge though.
He can't move it over though.
He can't.
He also told somebody to suck his dick in the match too. It was like one of the worst.
I heard that he said something that he shouldn't have. That's bad.
That was like I was waiting for the next match or whatever. I was waiting for the curses to start flying.
Oh yeah.
But then like kind of got a little bit of that from Billy Gunn when he said "suck my dick" to whoever it was.
Yeah, these guys are professional.
Yes.
This guy doesn't give a fuck anymore. He doesn't give.
I will say though, when Billy Gunn was on the apron, much like Tokyo Pimp, Billy Gunn was doing a lot like from the apron, and he was kind of. In a way, he was kind of like I don't want to say like putting over the younger guys or whatever, but he was like from what they were doing in the ring, he'd be like, ooh, like he's like, ooh, that's nice and stuff like that. He
would least into it.
He would say that from the apron, and he'd be like, oh, like he was doing stuff like that on the apron.
Good of him to put in the bare minimum.
Way
to telegraph that you're in a match right now. That you care about the outcome. Anyways, they took on. So yeah, this is Billy Gunn, Tempura Boys, Yoshitatsu took on Jay White, Dave Finlay, Kushida, and Tanahashi. It's so weird to see it's like the difference between like WWE and New Japan is that Tanahashi will add his star power to a match like this, and he's sort of like the John Cena of New Japan. You never really see John Cena or them using him in that match. Yeah. That's how like I don't know beefy
they went apeshit for him too.
Oh yeah, dude, he's hot shit. It was kind of weird though. I figured that Billy Gunn is definitely going to lose tonight. He's not going to win the IC title. So I'm kind of surprised that I don't know he didn't pick up the win against like if they would have had Billy Gunn, you have to have the guy who's going to lose go over the day before. That's the point of these big tag matches.
Rocky Romero got the pin against one of the Young Bucks in the first match.
Because they're so going to lose. Yeah. Let's see here. We had
Guerrillas of Destiny against War Machine.
Okay, so now good. We can talk about let's rank. So I have my opinion. He has his opinion.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get your opinion, James.
Okay.
Bullet Club. My A team. My A team is this. It's Kenny, the Bucks.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Cody is like an A-. I'm going to say he's elevated because he's.
That's fair because that's kind of what they want him to be too. They want him to be that.
He's sort of because Adam Cole was kind of A-.
Yeah, they were bringing him up there too.
Right, exactly. Because obviously you said this earlier, they switched one for the other.
We actually differ quite a bit. I think
my B club.
See, I add Skrull to the A club. He's an A-
Skrull's
too.
not.
Yeah, he is.
He's not even an A-. He's B club. What has he won? He's had the Ring of Honor television.
He's been in New Japan for what, 2 months?
B club. B club is Guerrillas of Destiny. Although they were the tag champs. Maybe they're A club too. Shit, I don't know. Now I'm all thrown for a loop.
Honestly, I would put GOD in A because I don't know why I really like them.
Oh, they're great.
I really like them.
Fantastic.
They are really good.
And just because it's like I've got a little bit of bias because Toma Tonga with his Seth Rollins Roman Reigns tweet that he did where he was like, I look like a cross between the two. Like I was just like, oh man, he's so self-aware that it's man, he knows exactly.
He has such a different kind of like he exudes such a different personality than anybody else in the ring because he comes down,
Even their music is like so mellow, but it's like
it's sinister.
It's sinister, yeah. It's good.
No, how he moves in the ring, he's such an.
I was disappointed that we didn't get the cursing, but we did get.
I yelled so much for it too. I was like, F-bomb, please,
F-bomb,
come on.
I thought one time Tama Tonga said something quiet under his breath. I thought I heard one.
He did. He got caught in like almost like a uranagi, I guess, from one of the guys, and he said like, "Oh shit!" Like real quick, like when he got caught with it. But that was like the most I heard.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Wrestle Kingdom match.
No.
What a bummer. That was a classic. God, that was so good. That was so much fun. This is a really good match. I love War Machine.
Yeah, they're great.
War Machine's fantastic.
Their helmets are good.
I do like though that they come out right. So they go like the full regular. They have like helmets.
Yeah, they look badass.
They look amazing.
Stuff, yeah.
And they come out and they say, "Last time you guys didn't fight with honor, you used weapons." And I'm like, "Your name is War Machine."
Mm-hmm.
Like that's literally
they are the actual weapon.
The actual weapon. And so they convinced the ref to let this become a weapons match. So weapons
DQ match, yeah.
Didn't he yell out to like commissioner or something?
The chairman,
like that? Chairman,
Chairman.
Like yelled out to him.
And the chairman thought about it for a minute. He does.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Good booking decision there. I know. I like it. And yeah, it's great that War Machine is asking permission from somebody else. You know? Mr. Chairman, your name's War Machine.
That's fighting with honor.
Yeah, well, there you go. They're like Klingons, I guess. So yeah, I love Guerrilla's Destiny. They're fantastic. So let's talk about the Chase Owens.
Who's Chase Owens? I don't know who he is.
He might be the D tier of Bullet Club.
Okay, so we're saying Hangman Page isn't B level?
No, he's C level.
C.
If Marty is B level, Hangman Page. Okay, I agree with that. And then Chase Owens is definitely below Hangman Page. So Chase Owens is the
Why is he so bad?
Because he's never there. Like if maybe he could be the best wrestler on the roster. We don't know. They never use him.
Is he signed to is he New Japan or is he like an ROH guy?
He's New Japan, I think.
He's New Japan.
I've never seen him.
He's never around.
I looked him up. He's been Bullet Club for a very long time.
He showed up on one of the shows earlier this year, and that was our first introduction to him.
Yeah, I was like, I have no idea who that guy is. Why is there a fan with a Bullet Club shirt? Because he doesn't look intimidating.
He's like, who's this Adam Cole cosplayer coming out here?
Exactly. Anyways, Chase Owens showed up with a chair
and tried to help Guerrillas of Destiny. Didn't work.
He ended up, again, because he's on the D level, he ended up costing them the match. And War Machine went over. This is our one title change.
Yeah,
I think
it was a great one. They had their finisher fall out through a table.
Oh yeah,
that was
I love how. Did you see how small the table was?
The Japanese table made an appearance.
They brought their own tables with them.
It looked like it was going to collapse just by touching it.
Everybody popped for that because everybody was like, "It's not going to break. It's not going to break." But when you seen the big dude go up to the top, it's like, okay, it's got to break.
Yeah.
It's got to break.
Man, I love when War Machine
Hansen's the larger of the two.
Yeah, I don't know who did the suicide dive.
That's Hansen.
Okay, does he also do the top rope flying stuff? Didn't one of them do like a moonsault, or is it just a splash?
It's a splash.
Oh man,
that was Hansen too.
That's great. That's awesome stuff.
Next. Oh, sorry, huge upset. I thought.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Naito versus Ishii. Fantastic match.
Yeah.
This was kind of Naito almost taking Ishii a little too light, like getting a little too arrogant, I felt.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the story.
And Naito didn't really have an answer for Ishii's power.
Yeah. He couldn't penetrate Ishii at all. It was fantastic. And no matter how hard he tried, Ishii's always the dark horse candidate in these tournaments. I feel like I wrote him off against Kenny
in the New
Japan Cup, and he ended up going over. Naito super over with the crowd.
Oh God, yes.
Like this was the first time, and a lot had already happened, but this was the first time I felt when everybody realized there was a superstar in the ring. Mm-hmm. Kind of with the Young Bucks when they first came out. I was like, okay, the Young Bucks.
But they're familiar with the LA crowd because of PWG.
Yeah,
but Naito not so much.
Naito, total rock star.
His LA debut.
And you could tell that he was tickled by it.
Yeah. Everything was so set up like, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but it was just set up to where it's like, he didn't come out for like a good bit when his music was going. It was just it was delayed just right.
Yeah.
He came out looking like a complete badass with his suit. Like he just like you said, he looked like he was having a ball because everybody was just giving him everything. And it was like, I don't know if that's one of the things. That was one of the things I've seen a lot of people talking about was like, if some of these guys don't, like over in Japan, it's like they'll get up and cheer and stuff, but it'll be like very like, golf clap, that's it, kind of thing. But it's like, do they experience that kind of like atmosphere often?
I don't. That's always been one of my biggest questions. I'd love to get somebody who's actually sort of an expert on New Japan on the show, because I'd love to know. So obviously in Japan, there seems to not be that stigma of, oh, it's fake crap. It's like they appreciate it, they understand that it's predetermined, scripted, fake, whatever you want to call it. But they're over that. They're over that hump, and so they can just appreciate it for what it is. But I don't know if they mark it like for a crowd like us. Like, is there a crowd like that in Japan? Like they get their WWE. They've had the WWE over there. I don't know how they feel about it. I don't know. I would love to know more about the culture.
Didn't they just like coincidentally have like a couple things over there?
Right?
Like
shows this week. They're over there right now. So anyways, this is a really, really fun match. Ishii ended up going over with 4 like brain busters or whatever it was. Suplex.
Naito was busted open too. He was bleeding out his mouth.
Yeah. And he played it up for effect too. He started going like that.
He spit on him. He spat at him with the blood.
Right,
Naito likes to spit on people.
He was trying to get Red Shoes to open. Was it Red Shoes or was it?
It was Red Shoes.
Okay,
Red Shoes did the last 3 matches.
He was trying to get him to open the rings for him, the ropes for him at the beginning. It was like threatening to walk out if he didn't. That was great. All the Red Shoes, all the ref stuff was really, really good too. It was just a big celebration, man. It was great.
Yeah, it really was.
Next up we had, I was kind of thinking that, so once Naito went down, I was like, okay, wait a second. This gives Elgin a chance now. So we had Kenny Omega versus Big Mike Elgin, again, first round of the U.S. tournament. Kenny ended up going over, but I thought this was going to be a problem for the following match because this match was so good.
Yeah.
This match was just chock full of drama. The Bucks were down there. Kenny got a massive superstar reaction.
Yes.
And this was just a fantastic
A few people were saying that Kenny, before night 1, had his meet and greet, and by far he was the one that had not only the most, but his line went back to from one end of the convention center to the other, and then wrapped around, came back out the door and to the bathroom. Yeah. So Kenny was the star here, it felt like he was the star here. I don't even think he would have anticipated something like that, where it was just such pro Kenny there.
So I had said when they had announced the U.S. expansion, what they wanted to do. My take on going into Dominion, would Kenny be champion going into the Long Beach special? I felt that it was probably beneficial to them to keep the belt off Kenny for now. Because if people weren't necessarily, and I was wrong about this completely, if people weren't necessarily familiar with Okada, at least they would be able to say, okay, well, he's the champion, so I can hold on to that.
Yeah.
And I think that did play out, or that that is the tack they took. I think it really did make this thing go over a bunch more because Kenny's already a superstar.
Yeah.
Okada having that title at this point in the U.S. does so much more for him and the promotion in general. People want to know who's going to finally take it off him. I think it was really smart for them to keep the title off Kenny and to keep it on Okada going into this. But yeah, like I said, this is a fantastic match. The crowd,
the top rope Razor's Edge.
That freaked me out.
Elgin
the top rope
Kenny.
Razor's Edge.
He was shaking when he was doing. When he lifted him up, he was Elgin was shaking. I was
Yeah.
that does not look good,
dude. That really freaked me out. Then Kenny kicks out of it.
And after seeing Kenny do his knees live, how he doesn't break people's jaws with them.
Oh, I know.
Is remarkable.
He's got to have pillows in those knees.
Oh, yeah. Great match. Great stiff match.
The crowd was huge into this match. Yeah. Just massive. And I thought that was going to be, I was like, okay, because it's, Kenny and Elgin had an amazing
ladder match, yeah.
And you saw it, right?
I saw part of it.
I didn't see it, but they had a ladder match that apparently was amazing. So I knew they were going to put on a good match. I wasn't sure. I mean, I know it's Okada, but it's Cody Rhodes, and I like Cody.
Cody his character work is always great. It's the wrestling because he had a match against Elgin at Dominion that wasn't very good.
Yeah, I know. That was kind of one of the lower points of Dominion. Anyways, Kenny did end up going. He hit his one-wing angel on Mike Elgin and went over. Next up, we had Okada versus Cody. This is as good as a match as I think I'm ever going to see with Cody Rhodes. I don't think he can carry a match like this. This is Okada carrying this match. Cody was doing his part, and they did a little bit of overbooking with Kenny coming out with the towel, the Bucks coming out, Brandy Rhodes getting involved, which I thought was all really good stuff.
Yeah, that's when
really
the match actually got really dramatic.
Yeah.
Cody delivered a Rainmaker on Okada. Okada did a Crossroads on Cody.
Mm-hmm.
How many? Okada had to hit 3 Rainmakers during the course of the match to finally.
He hit 2 in a row.
Yeah,
at one point, but then he didn't go for the pin. He just kind of taunted or something afterwards.
Yeah.
We got to see the Rainmaker pose live too.
Yeah,
that was good.
Supposedly, in translation to TV, they messed up.
They
messed up the Zoom. They messed
up the Zoom. Now they messed up the Zoom.
Out of all the things here, they messed up the Zoom.
I would hope they would have rehearsed that several times.
Many times. Wow.
That's a bummer.
We wouldn't have been able to know, but no. I guess that's what people were saying.
Oh man, that's what you have to have. Wow, that bums me out. Anyways, yeah, so Okada ended up going over in a fantastic match. He hit the Rainmaker.
He cut an English promo, too, afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, that was so... Dude, that really got me, man. That got me in the feels. That was especially when and the great thing is when people know that Gato is the guy that books the show. Did you know that? That he's the
their head booker.
Is it the dude that's with him?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
He's their head booker. And so there were people like sort of around us, I think, who knew that and were chanting for him. But to hear him put over Okada in English, and then Okada drop, how did you like New Japan tonight? Oh, God, that was like...
Before all that, Kenny came back out and grabbed the mic, went in the ring, and... He put Okada over. He said, I'm not going to ruin your moment. This is your night.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool, too.
It was really cool. So, there was a lot of drama with Cody, and it was obvious, like you said earlier, this was the Adam Cole spot. This was what they were building to. Because Cody came down during Dominion, was trying to stop the match with the towel, and Kenny did the same here. Brandy stopped him. The Young Bucks stopped him. Too. And then you see Cody trying to get... My favorite spot was Cody trying to get the One Wing Angel onto Okada.
That got so many boos.
That got so many boos.
You know what? In regards to how Cody performed the ring, he got so much heat during this match.
Yeah.
Tons of heat.
He really did. And I was looking at Kenny, and Kenny just laughs it off. He's like... He was looking disrespected at first, and when he couldn't hit it off, he was like, "Yeah, that's Okada, dude."
Did you see him do he did the Stardust thing where he like hissed at the ref, and then somebody from the crowd, like in the section next to me, I guess must have did this whole deal to him or something that. So he went up to the edge and went like that and went like that to him, and everybody just started going off on him after that too.
Yeah. He has to. I mean, he has to deal with a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
Do you think like that they knew that going in? Do you think that they knew that the LA crowd would be so pro Okada, or do you think like...
I have no idea.
Because that's what in my that's what I thought coming here. Everybody would be all for the Japanese stars because it's like you're paying to see them.
Yeah.
But it seemed like from the people that I talked to there, they thought like Cody was gonna get cheered. They thought like Cody was gonna go over with it. They thought like... It seemed like they just thought like the Americans, and he even came out decked out in American stuff and stuff. It's like maybe they thought like he was going to be that guy that everybody was going to be cheering for, but like it was so pro Okada. Like it didn't happen.
I honestly don't know. I think it'd be obviously what you said was what ended up happening, but in the back, I doubt there's anybody would have been able to say, yeah, this is exactly how it's going to go down.
Yeah.
So something tells me that they had maybe a contingency plan, or they said, hey, go out there, see what the reaction to each of these guys, because Okada, his reaction was almost as big as, I couldn't really tell, but man, people flocked to Okada. People popped big for him.
We were kind of sitting along the aisle that was kind of diagonal to the ring post, and when Kenny came out, people ran up to that space and take pictures.
Yeah.
Same thing with Okada.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of people just hung around there. I don't know what I said there. Hung around there.
Yeah.
Hunger out there, I think is what I said. Hung around there, and then I think a lot of people that were sitting towards the back behind us moved over and stood against the wall to get closer.
Yeah.
Because they had did such a great job of actually building up the drama of the main event.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
No, it was really
Everybody was
cool.
super into it.
They were really into it. And like you said, he dropped that promo at the end, the English language one. So it was, man, it was, I have to believe.
Does he know English? Does he know, no?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I've never heard him talking before.
Really?
And I've watched all his press conferences, but they're all, for a Japanese audience. So
yeah.
I have no idea. If he just learned what to say for this. I know Kenny speaks fluent Japanese.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does both, right?
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought it's going to be really difficult. The show's going live in about a half hour, so we got to get going.
Yeah, we do.
But I don't know how it's going to top it tonight. Billy Gunn, he might pull out a 6-star match.
The one thing I was kind of depressed about was that, so like for me getting into New Japan, I got into New Japan like, I think I might have saw it at first at like a PAX West like last year or something like that. So it might have been like September, and I was flicking through the channels in my hotel, I randomly came across Access, and I saw Shibata, and like him just beating the hell out of somebody.
Yeah.
And then, man, it hasn't even been a year, and then I heard that his match with Okada, and I haven't seen it yet because I don't know if I want to see it after hearing what happened to him.
Yeah.
But that's like he was the one that got me into it, and like he's gone already.
Yeah. We were huge marks for Shibata.
Yeah,
like we were massive for him, and that match is
it visible? Like when he, like the headbutt or whatever.
Is awful.
It's bad, dude. And
then
he pulls away and there's blood coming down.
I've seen the picture, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to watch that back.
And I remember when we did our recap, like everybody was nutting over that match, and you gave it a bit more leeway than I did. Because I was sitting there thinking to myself, they're human beings, the same as we're human.
Well, this is before
they're not
we really knew the
superhuman.
extent of how hurt
I know, I know, but nobody should be doing that.
No.
That was my point. It was like, if your gimmick is dude who beats people up for reals, that's not really the same. Like that's when it sort of crossed a line.
I was gonna say he does that. He's like kind of known for that, right?
Yeah,
he does that a lot.
He's known for being a stiff worker, and that kind of is what gets him over. And I'm like, well, and my point was anybody can kind of do that. Like anybody can be like, hey, we have a match tonight. I'm really gonna punch you. You know what I mean? Like you have to make it look real. Where he was doing it reals, and so that headbutt to me was just like, oh, that's kind of gross at a certain point.
Yeah.
And then when it turned out, like to this day, literally, there was an update like a couple days ago. He still has vision problems.
They're doing like experimental procedures on him so he can.
They're trying to electrocute his brain or something. I don't know what it is.
It's messed up.
Stimulate some shit. But
he might be done like that.
Oh no, he's done.
He's done.
That is a certain. His brain is fucked up too. It's so wrong.
All right, on that note, let's go watch some more New Japan.
On that note, we're going to go watch some more New Japan. Anyways, James, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for being here.
That'll work.
There you go. Anyways, till next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.